What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Xtreme Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Jimmy Bones, and I'm here with my brothers, the Icon Legend Connection. We're going to start with my brother, Legend, Damian Simmons.
Woo! Jimmy Ball, thank you for the introduction. This is Legend Damian Simmons, the original and official one, here live and direct inside the garden. We are about to make magic tonight with a very magical topic. I can't wait to see how much dark magic it plays into this one. So, Jimmy, I'm ready to roll. What else we got? It sounds like we got another person in the building helping us tonight with all this electricity, right?
I think it does. Somebody called a power company because we got the other half of the Icon Legend Connection. James, Icon, Grant.
If you want to call the power company, call the man that is on top of the hour with Jimmy Bones, Icon Legend Connection, the whole Xtreme Truth. And yo, this is your boy Icon here. We're about to rock the roll, baby. Let's go.
All right, let's get it. As always, we're going to start with our current events. This week has been an eventful one. We actually had to pick and choose what we were going to cover because so much has happened since last week. It's just been insane.
There was a lot of shit going on, Jimmy. A lot of shit going on, Jimmy. A lot of motherfuckers just trying to lose their mind before the summer comes. Because you know that when the summer comes, it's going to be a motherfucker, and I'm going to be all in that shit, baby. I'm going to be all in that shit.
Most deaf. So we're going to start with the story of last week. It was probably, whether you live on the East Coast in America, West Coast, if you live in America, this is one of the biggest stories. A gunman went into a train station in my hometown of Brooklyn, New York, dressed like a New York City transit worker. This guy had on a gas mask, a safety vest. He got on the train, threw smoke bombs, and then just started shooting at people in the train. And in the midst of all the chaos, he escaped through the crowd, through all of the smoke bombs, and they found undetected bombs, like actual bombs, on the scene. That's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that he's black. And he's been arrested multiple times. He also had a YouTube show where he talked about how angry he was. He actually used to live in the town that I grew up in, which is even crazier, because I kept saying, that man looks so familiar. So he lived in the town that I grew up in. And after there was a big manhunt for him, this man allegedly called the police and said, hey, I heard y'all looking for me. I'll be at McDonald's. And he turns himself in. Whew. Man, I don't even know where to start with this. Legend, you got anything on this?
Yeah, so basically with this guy here, now one of the reasons why he was able to sneak in and sneak out is because of exactly how he disguised himself going into the situation. Not only did he have like a worker's vest, he had a gas mask once he put on. One of the reasons why they were able to identify him because he put on his mask right before he entered the train station, if I remember correctly. He was also carrying a pull along, like what do you call them? The suitcases, which was also full of different weapons and things for the actual thing. So now somebody like me I'm not from New York, but I'm in New York all the time. That's nothing weird, nothing out of the way. It looked like a construction worker going to work. So a lot of this hit people by surprise, and it was early morning. I remember Jimmy telling me the news. I had text Icon because I left out for work. I'm like, yo, bro, you all right? You know what I'm saying? This, that, whatever. So it's going to catch you guard. But this man, he's actually he's a YouTube personality. So he didn't have that many subscribers, but for the longest, he's been talking about this. He went under the profile name Prophet of Truth 88. And in a lot of his rants and a lot of his videos, he was talking about things about, what I'm saying, as far as what Black people is accepting to be here. As far as a lot of political things, as far as a lot of racial things. So he also explained in a lot of those videos that he suffered from, I think it was PTSD, I believe. So he made it out right, but he also made it fact that, there's going to people that's going to die. Even in the one video you can find online, because they've canceled his account since then. They also say, he's even saying on there, like, I know I ain't got a lot of hits. I noticed my coverage dropped, my views dropped or whatever because of some of the things I'm saying. But look at the name, Prophet 80, Prophet Truth 88. Prophet of Doom is what his believe his actual, what you want to call it, name, identifying name was supposed to go by. Prophet of Doom. And he had no problem talking about what needed to be done and what was going to be done. And unfortunately, we need to pay attention to this. It's funny what social media pays attention to. How many of us sit up there and has been locked up in the social media because of us putting like a real meme about sex, or a meme that might seem, racist or this, that, what have you. So it's amazing when we're doing things in innocence and we get called out. I catch it a lot of time promoting for Xtreme Truth with certain songs. But then when you let things get over, when they're basically planting out how they are going to carry out these missions that these people have been under, and a lot of us been online, they get totally ignored. So, but once again, you can't catch everything, but how do you let these type of things slip away,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a shame. It's a shame how it all worked out. Mental health is real. It's real. And sometimes when somebody tells you that they're going through it or stressed out or that they're going crazy, believe them.
Yep.
I don't doubt anybody when they say, yeah, you know what, I'm losing it right now. I'm going to try to get you some help from a distance. But you need to start listening to people, because you start getting things like this. Because that's not normal to go into a train station with a million cameras during rush hour, start shooting at people, and then you call the cops and say, hey, y'all looking for me? Yeah, you can come pick me up. That man had a death wish.
What is more? It seems more of a glorification type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he was looking to make it impact.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yo, Jimmy, download the picture. I sent it to you.
I already got it.
All right, blow that motherfucker up.
So the funny thing is, a number of us that know each other, including me and Jimmy Bones, have said we've seen this guy before. So the people that don't know, this guy's been touring around. So he's been in New Jersey, he's been in Philadelphia. Like you said, he has charges. And New Jersey was trespassing charges, violations. That
I believe he had 20 charges in New Jersey.
Right, well, and he had them in other places. I didn't even know he had that damn many. I believe so. One of the ones that was being brought up. So this guy's been traveling around. Once again, not a red flag went up. So, do you have anything to shed on this?
Yeah. Okay. So besides everything that we spoke about, this is just one insane, crazy motherfucker that shouldn't be out on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy, can you share the picture real quick? Now, look at this motherfucker right here. He looks like Wayne Brady and Bill Cosby had a goddamn baby. All right.
Man.
This nigga don't know whether he want to be a Oompa Loompa or fucking Barney. It's all in the same mix. But nah. But anyway. No, I guess I'm hiking on him because he killed innocent people. So fuck him.
Luckily, no one died. Luckily, no one died.
He tried to kill innocent people.
But people were shot.
People were shot. I have some coworkers who robbed that line. Just going to work. It could have been them. And it's just fucked up. You waking up, you just thinking about grinding on your mind, and all of a sudden smoke, Batman shit, Robin shit going on in the motherfuckers. It's crazy.
And the weird thing about it is somebody like this is walking around us. Like I said, I remember seeing him around. And like I said, once Jimmy said that somebody back there, I remember seeing him, but we never spoke. I remember speaking to somebody else. Like I said, I just thought he was somebody else until I saw the actual visual, that picture and a couple of others. I still remember that guy, between the face, the body type, everything else. And then I'm hearing him doing these things on YouTube. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy, just how many people that's going on in their minds like that. That's fucked up. Yeah, they're walking among us, people. Don't think any differently. Sometimes they're letting you know that they're crazy. You need to listen.
Yep. Yeah. One of my favorite lines. I don't do crazy. Right. I don't. Friendships, relationships, it don't matter. I know too many people that's dated people, and the person said, "Well, I used to be crazy. I'm good now. I'm on my medication. As long as I take it, I'm fine. I ain't took it in like 8 months, but you know what? I'm fine. I feel okay. Yeah, I'm good. I don't do crazy. That's my rule."
No, nigga, we don't do crazy, because if you do crazy, crazy will do you.
I will keep an extra spare jacket, extra spare straight jacket, some pills. some needles, all of that in the house, just in case. Yeah,
Damn, Jimmy. What the
hey,
fuck?
you never know.
Just in case.
Told you I don't do crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if you about to trap a crazy motherfucker or a bear. Fuck.
You might, you know, it might be the same for some of them crazy people. You ever see the people that's crazy? They knocking over like 8-9 cops. They punching holes through doors.
Oh yeah, that's when they, when they're crazy hit the peak, they don't feel shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of crazy, a woman in my favorite state, Florida, is accused of killing her children. She reportedly called 911 multiple times and didn't say anything. But on one of the recordings, they reportedly have her saying, "Come get them. I don't want them anymore." So she reportedly killed her 3 and 5-year-old child. When the police got there, they found the children's wrist, legs, and neck bound. It's, I don't even know what to say. It's, again, when people are crazy. People have like, what will make you do that to your own children?
Fucking crazy.
And the dark irony, just to, look at what our show was about tonight. What will make you cross the line when you disown your children? That's the ultimate way of disowning your children.
It really is.
I'd rather somebody leave their kids out somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that you actually causing physical harm to them and they've done nothing to.
Yeah.
Fortunately, everybody these days is out to get married and out to have children. Because it's a cool thing to do. I can post up something on social media. Or, I can stay with this man. Or even with some men, I can stay with this woman. I've seen that because I can both. I've seen some guys, this, that, whatever, but they'll go and they will sit up there and they get the girl pregnant just to hold on. You're miserable in the situation. So if you're miserable in the situation and she's probably not too happy in the situation, how do you think the kids are going to react? And they have nothing to do with, it's not their choice to come into this world, right? You know what I mean? They're born, they're here. So they got to make the best of it. So you're not helping them by taking out your frustration on these children. And that's just taking out frustrations while they're living. So it's disgusting and sad, but she's one of the many out here that are just at their ends with their children. Like I said, some of them I've seen in my personal experience, they'll keep having children. Like, okay, you don't even want the damn children you got now. Why are you having more? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you focus on them and getting the love right with them before you sit up there and you move on to others? Because especially if you love these more because of who you had them with or whatever the situation may be, how do you think those kids are going to feel? That's still going to cause a very disruptive household. But
and you know what's so scary is that someone like her would have a child with the guy who just shot up the train station.
Yeah.
Things like that would happen.
Yeah. Shit, it's happening already. Shit.
Like you find those girls that's crazy.
You got baby mamas just love to marry these killers. You know? So,
weren't they saying, I think they say Monica and C Murder, the rumor is they're getting engaged. C Murder in jail, he's in jail for life.
C Murder and who?
And Monica, that's the rumor.
Monica who?
The singer.
Get the fuck out of here. No. She's with a basketball player or a football player?
They divorced.
What the fuck are the gym? Nah, get the fuck out of here. Nah. I grew up with Monica. You know what I'm saying? Like she stayed heavy, but nah, Monica ain't doing no shit like that. She did nah.
They say she likes the bad boys.
Nah, I ain't hearing that shit. I'm like a father now. Jimmy, just make an icon. Make sure you edit this shit out the show because that ain't real. Murder. No disrespect to see murder. Nah. Monica ain't doing no shit.
I mean,
don't leave it up. Nah. They wipe it up. Yep. Nah.
Hold up. Do see?
Ain't nothing like that going on, bro. Let's go into the next thing. Nah, man.
Hold up.
Nah. See, go on to the next one.
Do C Murder? Can C Murder have conjugal visits?
I don't know. I mean,
what's
they down south.
Because Monica ain't having no fucking conjugal visits. So why are we asking? Why are we asking that question?
Hey, you never know, bro.
No, I do know. Monica ain't fucking with no fucking C Murder.
She's trying to have her baby, a baby C Murder.
No. No. There will be no babies with the name Murder, you know what I'm saying, being born by Monica. Nah.
All right, so C Killer.
We ain't doing all that. Nah. Next story, Jim. Next story.
All right, this
There's
last one.
something called fake news. That's got to be fake news, right?
I'll
The
make sure I
last
send you the
motherfucker that
pictures.
called it that it was real, but I know this is really fake. So this is gonna be the first fake news that's called out. Hey,
I'll
Monica,
send you the pictures. I'll send you the pictures.
No.
We're kind of
Yo, I'm gonna let you know if that ever does happen.
Mhm.
You know, Icon from Xtreme Truth gonna have to go ham on it. Gonna have to.
You're not
It
gonna
might.
have to.
It might happen.
It ain't gonna have to happen.
It's gonna.
Well, you know, maybe they'll give you tickets to the wedding.
What?
They give you tickets to the wedding.
What wedding?
They're gonna have oodles and noodles cake. They're gonna have oodles and noodles cake.
At a wedding? I'll go and watch them perform at a wedding.
Oh yeah, you can watch them perform.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
they might
perform in the vows. If that's what you're saying, they ain't performing the vows. I'll go watch them perform.
they're gonna walk him out with his chains on. But yeah, all right. Now this one is kind of weird because it's a weird segue. Hundreds of people protested because a black man in Michigan, I believe his name was Patrick Loyoya. I think that's the proper way to pronounce his name. He was originally born in Congo. He was pulled over by an officer because he was driving a vehicle reportedly that had different plates on it. So the car appeared to be stolen. Reportedly, the guy took off running. There was a scuffle with him and the police. He tried to grab the cop's taser and the cop shot him.
Good for his
during the
ass.
scuffle.
Good for his ass.
Now there's hundreds of people out there protesting.
Oh, why?
Against this man being shot.
Oh, so they nigga supporters.
Yep.
Yeah. I said it. Yeah. Niggas meaning this dumbass nigga. First of all, what the fuck he's doing? Stealing somebody's car. You know how hard somebody got to work sometimes to save up money for a motherfucking car. Then you got to get insurance and all that. Then you're gonna steal a motherfucker. Then all of a sudden, your ass gonna start fighting with the cops, and your ass is in the wrong. And then you gonna go for the motherfucking weapon. Then you get shot. And now, hold up. What city is this? Philly?
It's in Michigan.
In Michigan? Oh, this dumbass city right here. This motherfucker right here. Michigan, y'all motherfuckers got some motherfucking nerves. Y'all just want to be niggas. Just want to just say some shit. Yeah, I said it, niggas, because y'all supporting niggas. X, baby.
All right, Legends, you have a view on this.
He shouldn't be doing a fucking crime.
I don't even know how to come after that. Right?
I'm just tired of motherfuckers just, you know, if a motherfucker did some crazy ass shit like that and get shot by the cops, I mean, shit, because if he was wrestling with a nigga on the street and he went for the nigga gun and the nigga shot him, same shit.
Yeah, my only thing I'm gonna say about this is to black people or to people in general, you don't have to protest because other people tell you that you have to protest. We got to sometimes understand that. Sometimes when people are in the wrong, we just have to say, you know what? We just got to take that L.
These niggas wrong. If a nigga wrong, he's wrong.
It's kind of like if you remember over the summer, the girl that had the knife, that called the cops, and then she went and the cop shows up and she's running toward, she leaves the house and is running toward the other girl, trying to stab her. The cop has to shoot her. And people are protesting. And I'm like, they're like, Black Lives Matters. You're right. A cop just saved one. So people got to understand, you don't have to protest everything. Everything does not have to be protested. Now, keeping in line with,
I was going to say now, just like with that video, they also actually saw the body cam video of this this here. So a couple of things real quick before we move on. Number one, I haven't heard it confirmed exactly what was the issue with the license plates in the car. The initial stop was because, you know, when the officer ran the plates did not match the car. And nothing about that has been talked about. So I don't know what that situation was, which is number one. Because somebody drove around a stolen car, they're going to be stopped by cops. Okay. So the guy jumped out the car, you know, for those who didn't see it. And the police asked him, you kept asking him, get back in the car. So when the police explained it, the policeman explained exactly, you know, why he stopped them, they didn't match. The guy just started acting very weird and tried to run, you know. So there was a scuffle. Now, during the scuffle, this is the controversy about the story. The cops' body cam went off. Okay. Body cam went off. When it's reactivated, you see the EMS and the police or whomever trying to give in the person first aid, which unfortunately the man died from that. Now the guy grabbed the taser. I want to make sure we understand, not once but twice. So the cop tried twice to deploy the taser at the guy while he was running, and the guy, it didn't work. So when they were tussling on the ground, that's when he was grabbing the taser. He hit a cop before the body cam goes off, telling him, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Let go of my taser. Let go of my taser." Now, I don't think the cop was figuring like I'm going to be able to get the best of this guy. He didn't have backup there. So what happens? Cop takes out, and this is what the guy, I guess, that was in the car with him. They got footage on their phone, and what happened is that he, you see the cop pull out his gun. He says the last, "Let go of my taser." Pulls his gun out the back, pops him dead in the head. Now, once again, as we were just saying, what do you protest about? What are you protesting about? Okay, this person, first of all, they're running and they're getting away like it wasn't that serious at first. It's one cop there, so it's not like the usual when you have 5 or 6 cops jumping on somebody or shooting at somebody. It wasn't where he shot him multiple times. And once again, this guy was grabbing on the tasers. Anybody that knows anything about law enforcement or law situations, no, that's a big no-no. We're not grabbing their weapons unless you're expecting them.
Yep.
So with the body cam, that's the controversy too. With the body cam, from what I understand, you have to, it's not something where you just push a button, it goes off and on, especially because of a lot of work they do. So there has to be pressure for about 3 seconds on the button on your body cam before it activates or disactivates. So as you can see, when you're looking at the body cam, when I'm struggling against the guy, there was plenty of times where they were brushed up against each other. He's trying to hold the guy down. So that can be the time when the body cam came off. I can't explain how it turned on automatically. You know what I mean? That's something different. But like I said, when we're going out talking about, oh, this guy was unlawfully shot, this, that, whatever, we need to first of all make sure we get the facts and see the footage first, and then decipher what things we need to be out there protesting or what we're not. Everybody has a right to protest whatever they like. But you know what I'm saying? Whenever you're trying to make these moves, make sure that when you're protesting, it looks legit. You have some credibility behind it. You're not just protesting because another person in our community then got shot. And I've seen this plenty of times. See the footage, when you see the facts, even with witnesses, they're wrong. And we don't want to see anybody in our family, in our community, somebody we went to school with, somebody we work with. We don't want to see anybody gone. So we get it. But whenever you're making this attack against law enforcement in situations like that, and then you look at the situation, what else choice did they have? So we have to be mindful of what we're out here protesting and getting certain figures involved with, because we don't want to look like the person who cried, the little boy who cried wolf every time somebody unfortunately gets shot or otherwise or worse in our communities.
Yeah, I agree. Now we're gonna tie this into protesting, because a protest led to this situation. 2 women in a prison in New Jersey got pregnant by at least one transgender inmate that's in this prison.
You said at least one, so they had a couple?
At least one. So this prison is a women's prison in New Jersey. The ACLU reportedly sued to allow transgender women, which pretty much means that they were born biologically as male, to allow them to go to this women's prison. So there are, let's see, I'm just reading this. It says that there are 27 transgender prisoners in this prison with 800 cisgender women. So pretty much women that were born women and kept their original women parts. It's the only prison in the state that does not require transgender inmates to proceed with reassignment surgery in order to be housed. So they don't have to have the surgery to complete their transition in order to stay at this women's prison. This prison is reportedly in the process of being closed. There's been reports of abuse, systematic failures. 10 guards reportedly pressed criminal charges from an assault on inmates, including a transgender woman. So it's interesting. Again, people protested that people that are trans should be able to go with the gender of their choice. Now we look at this in prisons. I wonder what happens now. You know, are they going to change it back? You know, because that's, in a sense, I'm surprised it took this long for it to happen, in all honesty.
Well, you come to realize, Jimmy, that a lot of people, when it comes to this gay political movement, they just decide not to have common sense.
Okay.
I mean, they decide to put a transgender woman competing in an athletic event against a biological woman, and then want to Jedi mind trick the whole freaking world and say that's fucking normal. So now they want to be so much equal that they want to go put a transgender woman with real females, and then want to Jedi mind trick all of us and say, yes, this is the way. This is the way. Because this is all what they've been doing. And I don't mean, when I mean gay people, I don't mean gay people. I'm talking about this political gay movement that you see that's happening, that make shit like this happen. That make shit like this where a transgender woman starts fucking women. All right? And start getting women pregnant. You know what? Fuck it. Get these women off. These women's locked up, haven't been getting no dick. Hell, let a transgender woman get it. This is what they want.
Now here's the question. Now here's the thing with that. This is what's so crazy. They're saying that the two women engaged in sexual activity willingly.
Of course.
It's good.
And that's why I was about to chime in. Hell, that works for
It's free dick.
Yeah.
It's free dick. Come on.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. What happens if there's a transgender inmate that decides to start raping women? What happens in that case?
You know what?
That's
their fault.
The chance that you take.
It's the political, it's the gay political system fault that some dumb shit like that happens.
It almost in a
so remember, I was telling Icon when we first got sent the story by Jimmy. So not too long ago, we did a story about a transgender man going into the transition of being a woman that had wound up getting locked up for like burglary, some other shit. Now this person had already taken, I guess, whatever they need to go transitioning into a woman. They locked this person up into a male prison because they was identified. I guess they hadn't made the legal transformation or legal transition as far as like with the ID or whatever. So they locked this transgender female up in the prison and with men who got raped and attacked. Now you take it on this side, okay? So now this person is coming in, she's transgender female. We're going to acknowledge that. We're going to do whatever. We put them in there, and then you look what happens there. Of course, I didn't think the women got raped. No, not at all. Not at all, because I think they would shut it down immediately. But oh no, this person that's in here looking a certain way, you know what? They're going to send them to where they're going to, and guess what? The women, they're going to have a hell of a time. Because I don't think they do conjugal visits anymore, as was asked with Monica. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so
they might just for her.
Hey, not what you know. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? So this is the whole confusion that comes about that. From my understanding is whenever you go to prison, and they do have a lot of, I guess now, I don't know what the ratio is or anything like that. They do have wards where they're for, I guess, gay people, gay men, gay women, etc. I hear they have to go through testing and something else they be determined if you're disabled. This is how political and how technical it can get when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, trying to separate this people from that people and making sure these people integrate with that people, etc. It's really crazy now because you see this happening. So what do? Are they going to charge the transgender? Are they going to charge the women?
Here's the dumb shit about it.
Yes.
Here's the dumb for decades now, when it came to populating inmates that was gay, for decades now, they had the regular population, then they had the gay population for years. So what's the fuck's the problem?
But you know what's so scary about this whole thing is I'm worried about there may be guys that are facing sentences that may just identify as trans just to go into a women's prison where they'll probably be usually physically bigger and stronger than the women, and just so they can go have sex with women for the rest of their time.
I mean, wouldn't you? If you was going to spend time, a lot of time of your life, you would try to be in there with some pussy too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, just imagine somebody coming to see you like, yo, bro, how you holding it down? Bro, you gotta get in here, my brother. Yeah.
Right.
Lights out.
Like, yo, nigga, yo, you gotta turn yourself into a bitch first. Do some shit. And then make it happen, nigga.
Oh, yo, bro, just go to Rainbow. Go to Rainbow, yo. Pick this shit up here, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I know the fuck that I don't worry about what they think. You get in here, my nigga. You get in here, my nigga. Keep knocking it down. Right.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? That there's nothing there to prevent that from happening now. No. I hate to say it, and I'm not saying that all trans people in it are fake. I'm not saying that they don't deserve rights. I'm not saying that at all. My thing is, what's the plan to prevent something like this from happening again?
I guarantee you there is none.
Yeah.
Because just like when everybody was pushing, like I said, as far as equality with things, okay, it sounds great to have equality in these things. But then nobody ever thinks about, okay, so how are we going to structure this to make sure everybody's getting their rights? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's getting there. You know what I'm saying? You know, that nobody's being violated. And I mean that at all different type of levels, not just the story that we're talking about. That never happened. Like, okay, we need these people here. We need these people there. Let's get them in there. Let's do whatever. And then when it happens, oh, shit, there's consequences.
Now, I tell you what the plan is going to be. It's going to be a couple of guys, right? They say, you know what? We're going to rob a bank. But first, we're going to dress in drag, just in case. Just in case what? Dog, just in case. All right, if we get caught, we trannies and we're fucking one another.
That could be what happens, man.
You know what I'm saying? Guys slip up, they get caught. They all dress like women. They all come in. Yeah, I'm a woman.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. They got a difficult decision as to going forward. To put it to you like that.
Motherfuckers gonna be doing crimes in drag just in case.
Yeah, man.
Watch, all the criminals gonna be dressed like women. That's the disguise gonna be women.
But you know what? I think this is gonna change the game, though. I think this is definitely gonna change the game.
Going definitely change the game.
With them arresting people, I think they're gonna change the rules.
I don't think any time soon. Because that's just one, and that's just one that we're hearing about. I don't think it's going to change much.
Man, thugs going to be putting on lipstick, nigga.
So,
they already are. Maybe that's why they're doing
it. You do now.
Walking around with purses and dresses.
Yeah, I'm about to say a lot of them do now.
Like, bro, you getting locked up with the fucking.
No, but it's like when you doing hard crime now, you got to be out there in your woman gear now, nigga. Got to be out there in your woman gear. If you get caught, you're a woman, you with the chicks. You good. Good.
But who's to say what this is going to be interesting? I'm definitely going to follow up on this story because this is going to be an interesting one.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely going to follow up on this one. All right, we're going to kind of stick with the whole jail thing. Just to talk about how crazy stuff goes on in jail. A former corrections officer in Oklahoma was convicted Friday of violating the civil rights of two pretrial detainees by allowing white inmates to assault them. So this lieutenant moved these two black detainees to a row known for white supremacists and then unlocked the cell doors so that the white supremacists could beat them up.
Nothing new.
Nothing. That's the crazy part. But this is the thing that's even worse. A year later, this man was promoted to captain and allegedly ordered two correctional officers to restrain a detainee stretched out with his wrist held on opposite sides of a bench for 90 minutes for sending a note criticizing the prison.
Wow.
Nothing new. And I'm not speaking from experience, like I done did a bid and no shit like that. I'm speaking from the people that I know that done did a bid. So this is nothing new. And unfortunate, and I do have friends that are in corrections, you know what I'm saying? Never heard any crazy things from them, but I don't talk to them like that. You know what I mean? But you know, and on these insides, because remember, you're there, that's your job. Most people, they don't work 40 hours, you know what I'm saying, when they're doing corrections. They're there hitting overtime, they live there basically. So they're living basically right with these same motherfuckers gonna be living here for whatever their bid is. So you gotta get used to each other. You don't want a hard time when you're at work. And like so, these motherfuckers, they serious. They don't give a fuck. They'll kill you too. If they got life, you know what I'm saying? They're doing a buck. What do they care about something and snapping a damn correction officer's neck? So a lot of them try to fit in with the inmates. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of these things get involved. You know, like I said, they say they're supposed to be for rehabilitation, but in jail you can get liquor, you can get weed, you can get pills, you can get food, you can get cell phones, you can get tablets, you can get service. You can get all that. You know what I'm saying? How do you think they're getting it? Because obviously these people are following around and watching. You know what I'm saying? Also, like I said, when you hear people getting shanked, they're getting jumped, they're getting raped in showers and shit like that. How do you think that goes on if they're supposed to be surveilling everything? Why? Because guess what? They allow it to happen. So unfortunately, this is sad that this happened. These people, it's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of gangs, they are segregated whenever you're in prison. So you have like we talking about with the gay community. They have theirs. They're boys. That's what they call them in prison, boys. You know what I'm saying? You have the boys. You know what I'm saying? You have your Aryan Nation. You have your Islam. You know what I'm saying? You have your Bloods, you have your Crips, you have your MS-13s. You have them all in there. They're all in groups. Like I said, you have your religious folk. You have your Christian folk there too, because just because they go to the Bible, they take their Bible to church on Sundays, don't mean that they ain't sinning. So there's a plenty of them in there that has Christian. That's how a lot of people done got out early. So you know what I'm saying? It's all divided in there. And the people that work in the staff, just like when you work at school, just like when you used to go to school when you was a kid, you always had that staff member, that teacher that always would look out for you. You know what I'm saying? Or always thought, oh, this is a special kid, even if you wasn't doing anything bad. They always had your back. Same thing with these places. But it's a little different because it's their adult world. So it's like, okay, what do you need? This, that, whatever. Just make my job easier while I'm here. Don't get me killed. Don't get me murdered. You know what I'm saying? Because not like these people in jail don't know people outside of jail. It's very easy to get information these days. So to stay cool, stay whatever. Yeah, they formed a pack. Okay, just don't start shit on my shift. And I got you. I'll hold you down while you're in here. And this is when things like what we're hearing about now happens.
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole thing is just crazy. It's a shame. It's unfortunate that it's happening, but I doubt if anything's going to change. This man is facing 10 years in prison. That's it. 10 years for that. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We're going to kind of skip ahead to a story that kind of surprised me in Pennsylvania. Ironically, considering the topics about kids tonight, there was a party that some teenagers threw at an Airbnb. And I saw a picture of this house. This house was not that big. And there were reportedly 200 teenagers in this party. 200. And it looked like this place was maybe made to hold about 20 or 30 people. And there were 200 teenagers there. And some guys came in and started shooting. And they were saying that this place was so crowded that people couldn't even get out of the house. They were just stuck. They were shoulder to shoulder. Kids were having to jump out of windows to avoid getting shot. 2 were killed and 10 were shot. This is literally from them just renting an Airbnb. So I tell people just, be careful. Definitely
do they know who done the shooting?
No.
Wow.
They just think because it's 200 people all trying to run out of a house. How do you know who's who? You're shoulder to shoulder.
Wow.
They're lucky that more of them didn't get killed, that they didn't get trampled on the way out. And so it's sad, Definitely rest in peace to those kids that got killed. To the ones that got hurt, I definitely hope that they make a quick recovery, but it's such a shame. It really, really is a shame that people can't just go out and have a party. But in all honesty, if I go to a place and it's that small and there's 200 people in it, I'm ready to leave anyway.
Yep. For real.
One of my rules, anytime there's anywhere that I go, I need to be able to get to the exit at all times. And there needs to be more than one.
But you got to understand when you're younger, it's like, okay, this is where the
Yeah.
party's at because there's so many people. So when you start to get adult and get mature, you're like, nah,
Yeah.
it's too many people. I'm not fucking with that. Y'all know me, you know what I'm saying? I know
Yeah.
I am. I don't like being in a place with crowded with damn people. I like a place where people show up. But when it gets too crowded, I'm out. Remember, we had to adjust our hanging schedule back in the day, Jimmy, when we had a spot. We're like, okay, we're getting here by 9, because by 11,
I'll be out by 11.
we'll be out. Or we know where to go where everybody else say. Right.
Yeah.
Nobody be out for all that rah-rah shit. But when you're young, you're like, oh, this is where the party's at. This is what everybody's gonna be talking about on Monday. I'm there. And you don't recognize those things unless you're taught or told, you know what I mean? Hey, nah, that's not a good idea.
And what's so crazy about the place that we used to go to, there was one entrance. We used to always be in the back. And all the fights and the drama and shooting was always in the front.
Yep.
So we would have had to walk through all of the fighting and the shooting and the stabbing just to get out. So yeah, that was the rule.
I did one time, but
yep. You know, that's the rule. 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. That's when the hood comes in. Time to go.
Time to go.
And then so we start looking
at Drake on up. It's time to go.
Yep. You start looking.
That's what happened to me one time out. One time this woman invited me to this hole in the wall club. And y'all know how much I hate holes in the walls.
I know. It's the same. It's the same. I understand.
Man, so we go in there. It looks like it's nothing but thugs and killers. Right? So I'm sitting down, right? She's the hottest shit in there. So all the thugs and killers just staring at my ass.
Yep.
Right?
Sounds about right. Yep.
Then all of a sudden a fight breaks out. Right near the exit. Can't get the fuck out.
Nope.
Can't get the fuck out.
Yep.
Fight turns into a brawl. I'm like, this is the wrong time, wrong area for some shit to be a brawl. Cause shit, this was on like Avon Ave in Newark. So shit don't brawl for too long. They start shooting.
Hell no. That's a quick time limit on that. Motherfuckers only gonna throw in hands for so long. They're gonna start popping their trunk.
They're gonna get tired.
They even gonna get tired. They ain't want to erase the injury because they still want to go out and hang after this. They're gonna shoot a motherfucker back to what they were doing.
Right. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's wild. Speaking of wild, anybody remember that rapper Mano made a song High Hater?
Yep.
High Hater. I know the song. I didn't even know his name.
Okay, well, he's in the news right now because reportedly he said that during sex, he likes to be whipped. He has a fantasy of being whipped and called nigger by a white woman. This is an actual fetish. It's called race play. And some people are really, really into it. They're into getting degraded by another race. So yeah, reportedly he's into being whipped and being called a nigger by white women when he has sex with them. Yeah.
Well, listen, man. When it comes to people's sexual appetite, whatever floats their damn boat. It's a lot of people that like to be submissive. They like to have a strong, dominant figure dominating the shit out of their ass. So mentally, what's the best way of domination? If you want to be the most submissive, be the slave and have a white master whooping your ass, I guess, while you're fucking her, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, you got people that they already had the chips and the leather masks like demolition and shit. You know what I'm saying? So what did you that shouldn't be too fucked up. That's some of people's fantasy. Just like some people like to fuck outside because it makes them feel like they're out in the wilderness. They're being wild. You know what I mean? We've heard all these different types of fetishes. So that didn't sit up there and woo and wow me like, oh, okay. Some of y'all might remember a couple of years ago, in the headlines, there was a couple, I believe a black man and a white woman that got married. And for their photo album, for their wedding photos, they took pictures of them in like slave situations with her, like, with him over there with the chains around his neck and being whipped and out in the field. They went all out for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Some people have these fetishes. It's like, okay, I don't know if I could fuck with anybody like that, but hey, that's you're not pushing it off on your children or anybody around you or whatever. Hey, like I said, I've seen some very weird things get a lot of weird people off. Is what excites them. You know what I'm saying? And who are we to call them weird? Because you're entitled to what gets you on. I wouldn't know why anybody, period. I'm not even gonna say black people. Anybody, period. You know what I'm saying? Would want to go through that thing, but you have someone they want to be submissive, right? Where you be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like the schoolgirl, the schoolmaster thing. The girl, wife dresses up in the school dress. And you've been bad, you didn't do your homework, however the fuck it goes. I've never done it. It's just like, okay. I mean, everybody has their fetishes things. I mean, is that going to make them popular? As far as going forward, I don't think that was the best thing to say, but real about it, shit.
Sometimes people just, whatever that's going on behind closed doors that can affect just your money as an entertainer, just shut the fuck up about it. People don't need to know that, you're a black guy that like to have a white woman call you nigger and whoop your ass like a slave. You don't look too much like a man, I mean, you get a brother like me to thinking about all these motherfucking punchlines for you, for your over your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's one of our typical supporters, one of our audience members. When she came on a show with me, she gave me one of the greatest lines ever. Don't yuck someone's yum.
Well, I don't even know what the fuck that means, but it sounds like words to live by.
Yep.
It sounds like words. Now, the funny thing about Mano is he came out afterwards and said it was a joke.
Maybe.
That went viral with who the other person was. But,
no, bullshit.
You didn't think I was joking? I was joking like, get the fuck out of here. You ever sound convinced somebody you was joking, bro. You like
it's
that.
Possible.
No. What happened was you start hearing the crazy backlash. So now you're trying to, no. I was just joking, man.
Which they all do. Like, okay, maybe if you think some people might have a problem with, don't say the shit. But some people need that buzz, so they'll say that. They'll get it out there. He probably thought he was going to get us some freaks, which it probably did. I guarantee some white freaks ready in his DMs, heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. With some white chicks just waiting to get a chance to call a black dude nigga.
Yeah, man.
Like, fuck me, nigga.
I got my whip right here, Zaddy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. I got the whip right here, nigga. That's what it is.
That's crazy. Well, then we have we did have some tragic news over the past week. Comedian Gilbert Godfrey passed away. He was the voice of Iago in Aladdin. He was the voice of the original voice of the Aflac Duck. He was in the movie Problem Child. Pretty much, if you saw any movies with this guy with his loud, high-pitched voice, you knew him. I love his comedy because his comedy was just raw, uncut. He said anything to anybody and did not care who it was. He went to George Takei's comedy roast. George Takei is gay, and he did the most homophobic roast I've ever seen in my life, and everybody in there was laughing. So, reportedly he had some type of health issue that affected his heart. And he passed away at the age of 67. So definitely rest in peace to him. And DJ KSlate, the drama king, former Hot 97 DJ, always had the mixtapes out. Was one of my favorite DJs because he was the most disrespectful DJ ever when he opened his album. DJ KSlate, punch your mom in the face, kick your dog down the steps. I'll kill all you rappers. Like, why are you so angry, dog? But he always had great albums.
Now, disagree. The most disrespectful DJ is DJ Funkmaster Flex. As soon as you're getting into your fucking song,
drop a bomb.
Right, drop a fucking bomb, my bro. Hold up. He's starting the shit over again. That's why I stopped listening to that. I'm like, bro, this is my shit. It start over again.
Yeah.
And I didn't even recognize about this. Anybody that's tuning in about DJ KSlate, I grew up with him. I didn't know this dude right before we went on the show was going over the stories. I'm like, what do you mean DJ KSlate? I thought he was like doing a memorial for Gilbert Godfrey. I didn't know of them had passed away, and Gilbert Godfrey, somebody I grew up with. I can't even remember the first thing I saw him. I used to see him in so many movies and shows growing up. I can't even remember because I knew him way before Problem Child, way before Aladdin. I was happy to see him in those things because he came from so many different things. Excellent. Rest in peace to both gentlemen. Wow. That's crazy. Rest in peace. Jeez.
So for those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone knows DJ KSlate. But for those of you that don't know Gilbert Godfrey, this is what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
This guy.
Yeah, him. Yes, him right there. He's the one that talks like this.
Right. Kill me with that.
The crazy thing with KSlate is KSlate actually has been fighting COVID for the past 4 months. And he reportedly finally succumbed to COVID after 4 months.
Now that's crazy to have that. But what I can say, I do know a friend of mine, and him and his girl, they kept passing it to each other. They lived in the same, they lived under the same roof. And I'm guessing whatever they did in the, as far as the day jobs or whatever, like they kept having it. So they weren't staying in the hospital, so they kept giving it to each other. Other than that, and thank God they're okay now. I don't know how you can go with COVID, especially for 4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a strong battle of that alone.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could live that long.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We're going to end up current events because I think today's topic is going to be a good one. With some good news, weed becomes legal in New Jersey on Thursday. So I know for all my potheads.
What you mean legal? Because has it been legal?
No, it has not been illegal. It has not been legal.
Federal wise then.
Well, federally it's still illegal, but there's even movement on that because they're trying to move that through the Senate to get it legal on the national level. But so all my weed smokers, they probably been. It's not gonna make a difference to them anyway. But for everybody else, it's legal. You can now go to the store after Thursday. You should be able to go to the store and get weed without a prescription.
Hold on, time out. So this whole time we've been. Hold on, I thought weed was recreational in Jersey the whole time.
No, it was passed, but they never gave an official start date.
I keep telling them, man, and I think we've heard shows in the past, right?
Yeah.
I keep telling the fucker, man, including my own experience. See, that's why I said I don't because he hard at it. I done told you that. I done told you my own experience. I done told you.
Listen, you acting like something happened to me or something like that. I've been doing what I'm doing right in front of the boys in blue. They look at me, they nod their head. I look at them, I'm not the split. We been good.
What happened to me? What happened to me last summer? I feel like Brandon. You know what I did last summer?
I know. Listen, I know what happened to you last summer. I saw the movie. Okay, now I'm talking about this year when it supposedly was legal. Since then, I've been around cuz chilling. Didn't share. I gave some contact. So I'm pretty sure
you keep on doing that.
They stopped caring.
Yeah, well, keep doing that before Thursday.
Those motherfuckers felt heartily whenever I ran into them. Go on.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is just be careful until Thursday.
Listen, man.
Because they might decide they want to get their numbers up between now and Thursday.
You hear that, Icon?
I hear it. I hear it.
So
you have to make an example, right?
So yeah. All right. So let's get to tonight's topic. Tonight's topic it's an interesting one that we really had to think about. People often talk about, we love our children. There's nothing that we won't do for our children. But then you have to think about it. Is there anything that your child can do that will make you just say, I'm done? I disown you. Don't even tell anybody we're related. You are cut off completely. I don't even love you from a distance. I'm interested because the view of it could be different. And I'm going to give you two scenarios of two people that I know very well. And in both situations, if those were my kids, I probably would have cut them off. But they had completely different reactions. So one guy is this older guy that Legend and Icon knows. We all know. He's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Really, really nice guy. He's disabled, but his son, well, it's technically his stepson, but we call him his son because his son, it's his wife's son, but he's been raising this young man since he was 1. He was 1 year old, so that's his son. This young man has his last name, and his son is in prison right now because him and his friends were convicted of robbing a store, and then after robbing the store and getting all the money, they then gang raped the cashier. So this man was convicted. They got it on tape. They got DNA evidence. He's in prison. Now, our mutual friend, again, the kindest person in the world. This man still goes up there and sees him all the time. This man still puts money on his books. Not that he condones what his son did, but his thing was, I'm not turning my back on my child, no matter what he does. Now, I'm going to give you a flip side. Many of you probably heard me speak about a guy before that I went to high school with. That first off tried to kill me. he tried to have me stabbed by a mutual friend, and when that mutual friend wouldn't stab me, he got the friend deported. Me and this guy, we were really good friends at one point that became bitter enemies. What we later found out is that this man was a rapist. He's raped at least 3 women that I know of. He raped at least 2 girls that we went to high school with. So in high school, he was a rapist. He was eventually arrested for rape and attempted murder because he raped a prostitute. Well, he was sleeping with a prostitute. She said, okay, your time ran out. He said, no, it didn't. He rammed her head through a glass window and raped her.
Wow.
This guy, I know in high school, I knew his mom, I knew his dad. His mom was one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. And around his mom, he was the nicest guy in the world. But I can think of I remember a time when we were having our feud. He grabbed one of our mutual friends, got him and his brother. They tied the guy to a tree and they beat him senseless for an hour. Like they found the guy unconscious tied to a tree. So this guy eventually went to prison for the attempted murder and the rape. He's out now, and his father's having some health issues. This is the crazy thing about it. His father is in the hospital and pretty much told all of this guy's friends, do not tell my son where I am. Don't tell him I'm sick. Do not give him my telephone number. His father's actually nervous with him being around. So the father completely cut ties with him. The father never wants to see him again. So now we just gave 2 different scenarios of one where the parent is just with them no matter what heinous thing they did, they're riding with him forever. Then we have the other one where they just said, you know what, I have to wash my hands of it. So now we got to open it up to this one. Like it's an interesting one because I really want to see, is there something that your child can do that will make you cut them off forever? Or is there nothing that they can do? Will you always be with them, always love them, no matter what? Legend, let's start with you.
Sure. So I had time to think about this. Many of you who know me know I don't actually have any children of my own. Mm-hmm. So, my answer might be different from anybody else who's actually have the experience of birthing a child, raising a child, loving a child, things like that. I think my answer is the same as I said when I first heard it, and the first thing that came to my mind. First of all, if I create a child, that's unconditional love, right? So I'm going to love my child regardless. As far as them committing any type of heinous acts against myself, people that I know, people that I love, or just people in general, I say this. The only way I would stick through my child, do thick and thin with my child, through things as far as robbing, raping, and maybe robbing might not be on the same level, but I hate thieves. So I kind of put them in with all the others I don't deal with. You know what I'm saying? Robbing, rapists, you know what I'm saying? Killing people, especially killing people for no reason. I mean, killing people, period. Definitely killing people for no reason. Monsters. You know what I'm saying? To me, and I can even go less, alcoholics, a drug addict. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
You know, just type of issues. First of all, it's a choice that they make. If they have a choice, and when you have certain situations, like I said, becoming addicts, having, mental disabilities, that's not more or less something that we choose to do. Even if it might be from our choices, it's not something we woke up and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to be alcoholic, so I'm going to start drinking every day. No.
Yeah.
But as far as the other things, if I help create the monster, then I need to be there for the monster because I helped create it. So like a lot of these racists, when they create these racist ass kids, you know what I'm saying, that's out here, and they get caught from doing heinous acts towards people of other colors, of other nationalities. Yeah, stick by them because guess what? You help create them. Don't wash your hands of them fucking now, because guess where you think they got them from? They got them from an house. They got them from the way y'all carried on, from the old years. You know what I'm saying, of this country, which is ain't much different from the new years. They just, they spread it over different. If I'm sitting there and feeding my kids or taking drugs around my kids, you know what I'm saying, they grow up to be addicts, get into all sorts of shit. How am I going to turn my back on them? Because they got it from me. If I'm feeding my kids alcohol, you know what I'm saying, young ages, and I know plenty to have. You know what I'm saying? If I'm sitting there beating the hell out your mother every time you look around, and I'm saying, oh, it's love. Now you're arrested. Now my son or my daughter's arrested for sitting up there thinking that's cool, and it flies in their house and they fly with everybody. Okay, guess what? I created that monster. So I might not be proud of it, and it should be something I should look at myself about. But I should stick there for that child because this child got this from me. Now, when you're talking about just going up raping, you're never going to get any type of raping shit from it. You're never going to get type of rob. You're never going to get type of just attacking people for no reason, robbing people, things like that. No. Then it gets to a point. We all make mistakes. So I give everybody one. That's how I am in life. Everybody gets one. So I'll give you that one where it's like, okay, you had a bad day, you made a mistake. Okay, if you're not doing anything to correct that, if you're not feeling no sorrow for it, if you continue to do it, then yeah, I can't fuck with you. Excuse my language. But I'll tell my child, no matter how old they are. You know what I'm saying? When I start seeing signs, this is another thing too. Parents see signs and they ignore it. Yes. Then as soon as it's trouble, well, I didn't know about that. We'll go to lock them up, send them to juvie, send them to juvie. No. You know what I'm saying? You could have avoided this thing. You know what I'm saying? So once again, if I see signs, it won't help it. But if I'm seeing the signs, I'm not doing nothing about it, and then my kids get in trouble, then yeah, I'm going to stick by them. If it's nothing from nothing I ever taught them, and trust me, if I had a child, I would be thoroughly teaching them things about life, what to do and what not to do, because I'm very respectful towards people in that situation, even when I don't really like what they're doing. So I want my children to follow the same suit. It should keep them out of less trouble. But if they decide to be on their BS and follow out whatever they're finding outside the home and do whatever, then yeah, we're going to have repercussions. I don't know where the point of cutting off is, but I've cut off siblings for less. So,
all right, Icon.
Well, so I'm like this. I think I'm very basic. Pretty much, if my child lose all respect for me, there's no need to keep ties. I mean, of course, that's my child. I'll always love them, but you can still love a motherfucker, know how that person is, and know not to deal with them. You always have something emotional, for them. But yeah, so I know with me, if my child lost all respect for me, that would be it. As simple as that. I mean, and stuff greater, but as far as our connection, yeah. If they lose all respect for me, don't even respect me as a father or damn near person. Nah, because there's been times with people that I knew of that treat their parents completely like shit. And I'd be looking like, what's in your heart to make you project that to somebody that made you? But sometimes you'd be surprised at the answers they gave me,
Okay. Let's open it up to the audience. Is it for any of you? You can do the hand raise option. If that's not working, you can take yourself off mute. If that, or you can put it in the chat. Is there anything that your child can do? Anything. And if it is, let us know. That will make you just say, I'm done. I'm done. I disown you. I cut you off. Amina.
I would say being a mom of 3 and my oldest kind of like teetering on that, like, you know what I mean, trying to figure himself out type stuff. Like, I have limits because of who I am as a mother and what I have tried to instill in my kids. So something like murder, well, I don't like thieves either, because if they are still, and I tell my kids that all the time, I tell them that about their friends, like if they are steal from a store, they gonna steal from you too. So just be careful. So I don't like thieves. So that's something I have to, you know, teeter with in my head. But when it comes to something like rape, murder, and that, to me, that's just a total disrespect for life. And for someone that I gave birth to take someone's life or even rape somebody, like, that's too much for me. I probably would, I don't know if, I can't say that I would completely cut my child off, but they won't be getting no money on their books from me, like, because they gonna be going for a long time. You might get a letter on your birthday. I don't visit jails. I tell my kids already from the time they can walk and listen. I don't visit jails. I don't visit family members in jail. I don't visit nobody in jail. Like, I don't do that. I don't want to know what the jail look like. I'm good. But yeah, it's those types of crimes, like very heinous crimes, and just the disrespect for life itself, because I could be next. You know what I mean? I could be next. And anybody that would do that, they would do it to anybody. So that's my limit. Those type of heinous crimes. But then those other ones could be like I give you a chance, but if you keep doing dumb stuff, then I don't even know what to tell you, because I can't. I'm trying to live a long time, so I don't need no stress.
Well, the weird thing with the guy who was the rapist, none of us knew that he was a rapist while we were in high school with him. This is the guy we were friends with, but the guy who was a sociopath. And I didn't even know you could be a sociopath at 14. At 14, this guy, I think he raped his first girl when he was like 14, because he was dating this girl when we were freshmen, and then she just up and moved one day. No word, nothing. She just left. And we just always wondered, like, why would she just leave? Like, not say a word to anybody. She just left. And then we found out, you know, what happened there. And then with a mutual friend that I found out he raped, it was completely unexpected. Like, completely, because I didn't find out until maybe 4 or 5 years after we graduated high school. And when I spoke to her about it, she said, like, she just put her head down. And to think this guy was raping in high school, and then you look a couple of years ahead, and this guy's in prison for raping again. He was only convicted of that one rape, but if he's raped at least 2 other people that I know of, he probably has way more rapes than that. And for his father to say,
he was allowed to get away with that because the people around him that knew what he did didn't say nothing. He probably had parents that coddled him and tried to shield him from community embarrassment. Like, that's all that was. And that happens so much that it is actually a shame. And look, all the people he affected, and then he go to jail for just one. You know what I mean? Well, like, that's a tragedy, like, that people allow him to, like, I really think that that's one of the things in the Black community that I don't like, is that a lot of times we allow criminals, people that we know, murderers, to come back into the community and just walk the streets like it's nothing. No, go move somewhere else so they can just lock you up or something when you do something somewhere else. They shouldn't be allowed into the community so easy like that.
And what's so unfortunate is his mother was sick. I knew his mother. She was bedridden. Like, legitimately, like, she very rarely came out of her room. So she couldn't have known what he was doing out there. He's in the bed all day. The father's working all day.
The crazy thing is, and this, thank God, it was rare that I ever did. But when I was a kid and I would hear of, like, a teen raping another teen, like, to me, that was crazy. I'd almost doubt it. Only adults do that, and it's sad that I've heard about that, but I'm like, how could a teen rape another teen? Like, everybody does everything consensual. When you're a kid, you don't think like you have to go through stuff like that. Either you get it or you get turned down, you don't, and you move on. But Yeah, and that's crazy, especially when you're doing right in your own home with your mother. And
Yeah.
like I said, no,
Yeah.
but it happened.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? I saw James. I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah. I don't know. I got two boys. My oldest one, he's 21. He shit in his life. He don't charge me about 20 grand to get his little black ass out of jail. Like Icon, everyone say, like, it depends on what it is.
Okay.
Rape, some shit like that. Yeah. We don't do that. I don't believe in that. I if an average nigga does it, I believe he should be hung by his fucking balls. So if my son went up to her and do some shit, hang that little motherfucker by his balls. But to turn my back on him, I would never ever do that. I can't. Because there's help out there. We just need to learn how to get our young people help. You know, sit down. You know, you got in trouble once, you get in trouble twice. You talk to them, find a program, sit them away, try to get some help. Yes, if going beyond that, then unfortunately, you have to not. I won't turn my back. I'll find somewhere where he safe and the streets to be safe.
Well, let me give you a scenario. This is actually based on someone that I'm very, very close with. There's a man that I met. Well, we're very close. He married a woman. She had a young son. When they first met, her son was maybe 2 years old. And her son was just always getting into trouble, whether it be in school, in the streets, and the crimes weren't that big initially. So, he's maybe 13, 14 years old and out of trouble, going down on drug charges, gang stuff. So for most of his teenage years in his early 20s, this guy is in and out of jail. This man is a pastor. So his thing is, I'm going to love my stepson. I will never turn my back on him. I will always be there for him, no matter what. This is my stepson, but also as a pastor, I will always be there for him. Try to minister to him, try to counsel him, paid to get him in and out of jail, paid to get him in and out of programs. Then a couple of years later, the guy really seemed like he got himself together. They had got a big house. The guy, he had his own family. He moved back in with his stepfather, had his kids there, and his stepfather was always bragging, hey, you know what? He's doing a great job. He's helping out with the bills. He's, helping to take care of the household. He's a great dad to his kids. And the pastor had a day job that kept him very busy. Well, one Saturday, the pastor was sitting at home and the door gets kicked in. The DEA comes in. Apparently, the stepson has been trafficking drugs out of this pastor's house for over a year. So the money that he had that he claimed he was getting from working to pay the bills was all drug money. So now think about this pastor's reputation now, because this is the article. Pastor's home raided by DEA.
So now messed up the pastors.
Everything. So as a father or stepfather, at that point, do you just turn your back? Because you've done everything. You've ministered, you got him in and out of jail, moved him in. Even after he messed up, moved him back in, took care of his family, and after all of that you did for him, he still screwed you over. At that point, what's that?
I still won't turn my back. You distance yourself, limit yourself for certain things or how you move. If he comes to the house, honestly, whatever you have, you keep it in your car. That's in your car. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know.
Okay. Cool. Now, anybody else? What's your view?
I respect that. We do got a hand up, but I can definitely respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at any parents who are going to be there by their children despite their despicable acts. As long as you're not condoning it, trying to BS. Oh yeah, well, I know my son killed that old lady, but she smelled like Ben Gay anyway. Like stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but I can't be mad at anybody that would still love their child. That's their child. That's their creation. You know what I mean? You took an oath out of like when the child came into the world, as far as like being connected with that child. So I get it.
Well, I mean, you can love them, but the main thing is cutting them off. Would you cut them off?
Well, cutting them off sometimes can be looked at as love too. You can still love them, but if you're not showing them love, then how is that even love? You know what I mean?
You're right. Alou.
Hey.
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 Hey, welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I know my baby's been kicking my behind. So I've been really sick. But I mean, you know, me personally, I don't believe in turning. First of all, it's my child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm gonna just try to be as vague as possible or whatever, but you know, my grandmother has an off the chain child that has been just wilding out since, you know, he was a kid. And you know, my grandmother, she that's her responsibility. That was her child. She brought him here. It was her job to raise him and to guide him right and everything else. He went left. But I see that she, you know what I'm saying? Like she has cut him off. You know what I'm saying? She has definitely cut him off, but to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? She says like, that's still my child. Like,
sure.
You know, I'm just coming into the conversation because I just walked through the door, but and I'm not showing my face because I look so tired right now. But
you know, tired. You look tiredly beautiful, girl. Come on.
Oh man, listen. Not even. I look worn out. I'm at the end of this. Well, I'm coming to the end of this pregnancy, so I'm just I feel beat. But you know,
down at the home stretch.
You know, I don't know how people turn out the way that they turn out, but the parenting has a lot to do with it, and the different influences that you have around your children growing up and everything or whatever. Like I know that that's a big deal. The types of environment that you know put them in, the types of people that you have them hanging around with, and you know what I'm saying? Like for example, I got, you know, my niece is off the chain, has always been off the chain. But her influences and her environment, she's been exposed to a lot of different things. So it's no wonder she's 13 years old and sending pictures of her little chest to little boys already. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, she has a history of doing things that I feel can get little boys caught up in a very dangerous situation with her. And that just comes from her upbringing. So, I mean, you know, I'm not knocking any parent or anything like that or whatever the case may be, because there is no guide to parenting. There is no rule book. There is nothing. But, you know, I agree with the woman. I know my mind is all over the place right now. I agree with the woman, though, that was talking. I think her name was Amina. That's who was talking when I came on.
Yes.
That, you know, a big part about it is holding people accountable and responsible for their actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sitting out here raping or whatever the case may be, we as the Black community should not be accepting you or whatever at 14 years old or whatever. You just out here raping little girls and nobody says nothing to you, but somebody knew about it. That's why I don't give R. Kelly a pass. I say all the time with that whole R. Kelly situation, that sex tape with that 15-year-old came out or whatever the case may be, and people were still two-stepping, Black people were still two-stepping to R. Kelly. And that's why I don't understand, like, why we mad now that the white man decided to get R. Kelly now, You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we mad about? We as the Black community should have been, you know what I'm saying, boycotting his music. We should have been like shutting R. Kelly down or whatever. Like, no, we don't approve, and you will not be allowed to solicit your music within our communities because you are out here raping, because you're a grown man. A 15-year-old cannot give consent to have sex with you. So you're raping little girls, R. Kelly. These little girls are not of age to give consent for sex. Yes. And that's just by law. That's legally, if you are under the age of 16, you cannot give consent to have sex. So
not unless you're in Alabama.
I was gonna say certain states out here, I done learned. You'd be surprised.
There's certain states.
Well, I'm pretty sure certain states, are whatever. Because
as far as Chicago and New York is concerned, I guess that's the two states that's charging them, 2 cities that's charging them.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what R. Kelly was doing, and we allowed it as the Black community, just like we see a lot of other wrong things happening within our community, and we allow these people, these psychopaths, these predators and everything to just keep running loose and rampant around our children and around the rest of us. Like, it's not cool. So I feel like, when it takes a village to raise a child. There we go. Boom. I'm done.
Thank you.
I love the grand finale right there.
Yeah, perfect. But it's real. I mean, unfortunately, as was said, a lot of times the parents ignore this stuff. They know what's going on, and then they ignore it. And when the child gets caught up, it's like, oh, I can't believe my baby did this. Well, you were allowing it. With the guy that robbed the woman, that robbed the store and then raped the woman. I love my buddy to death. He's the nicest guy in the world. The only reason he gets a pass from me is because he's disabled. But there had to have been some kind of signs somewhere, because you don't rob somebody, tie them up, and then rape them. That's usually not your first offense. That's usually not the first criminal act that you've ever done.
Yeah.
And y'all gang rape them.
I'm sorry. Can I just, I think I'm open enough to share what happened with my son. So my son is autistic, and my niece, she started a rumor in school saying that he raped her in her sleep. Okay, this is what I'm talking about with what you just said, parents in denial of their children. Okay. And what she did was, I guess it got back to a kid she didn't want it to get back to. So she then went to the office crying to the principal and everything or whatever, saying that my son has started a rumor about her, telling all the kids in school that he had raped her in her sleep. So my son at the time, mind you, they're in elementary school. My son was in a self-contained classroom with, it was only 8 kids in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? And then those kids were also autistic with IEPs. So her mom had DIFUS come to my house. DIFUS had to send 2 specialists to question my son. Because of his autism, he had to be questioned a certain type of way.
Right.
DIFUS ended up, kicking me out of my home so they can question my son privately on these accusations. When I came back in the house, DIFUS apologized to me and said, Mom, he didn't do anything. So I tried to go to my brother now, and I'm like, you need to talk to your daughter or whatever the case may be, because, and I did my own investigation into it with the school, and well, not with the school, but I did my own investigation into it, and I actually spoke to the parents of the other children who were named in the situation. And all of the children that were involved said that my niece was the one that came and told them about this or whatever the case may be. And you know, I'm telling my brother, like, you need to like really check into your daughter or whatever, because it's been stuff ongoing for years with her other little things or whatever that I always tried to point out. And he's just been in denial, like, oh, my daughter, she tells me everything. She tells me the truth all the time. Boo, 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 boo. Like, she's a good kid. And I'm sitting over there looking at my brother like, yo, your daughter has some serious issues and you're in denial right now, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are in serious denial. And that's dangerous because your daughter could get some little boy caught up by just saying that he raped her.
Or continue practice once she becomes an adult and she dealing with some guy, should be doing the same thing to them. And you got somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like, over the summer, my brother didn't want to, he didn't want to go into her cell phone because, oh, I trust her. She tells me the truth, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, his fiance found the pictures of her sending her little chest to some little boys.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, bruh, you're in denial about your daughter. She's dangerous. She's going to have some little boy caught up. She's going to have some, and I feel bad for the little boy that she's going to end up having caught up, because she tried to have my son caught up, and I had to fight for my son. Like, yo, my son is autistic. He don't even understand what's going on right now. And she targeted him because she knows that he's autistic and you know what I'm saying? Like, things are not as clear to him as they are to her. So it was like, it was easy to make up this rumor and this lie. And I felt like she did it for attention. But you know what I'm saying? My brother, he in denial. He don't want to, you know, even till this day, he's just like, his daughter is like the perfect little girl. And that's a recipe for disaster with, you know what I'm saying, children becoming psychopaths and all of that, whatever, when the parent supports their nonsense and their craziness. Like, I don't let my son get away with nothing, autistic or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just lied to me tonight, and I had to dig into him or whatever, like, and he's standing in front of me crying or whatever the case may be, because I caught him lying. You know what I'm saying? So that's a child that most likely will get back on the right path, because I'm not sitting over here like, oh no, my child is like the best child ever and he don't do nothing. And like, no, he a teenager just like any other teenager. They do stuff and they try to see what they could get away with. You know what I mean? Well, overall, he's a good kid.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I pray for her, because you know what I'm saying, it goes back to what we're talking about. Now, like you said, you told the brother. He like, oh no, my daughter wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that, whatever. Okay. So when she gets older, because now they're starting to get on shit where if you falsely accuse somebody of raping, your ass can get locked up. Yep. So let's make sure he sticks by the monster that he's creating by camouflage and all that and pretending like it's not there. Hopefully she will recognize the error in her ways and she stopped that shit, because that shit is not
she about to be look, I've been calling this from day one when she was like real small. And my brother was doing this then. And I said, yo, if you don't get her under control now, she's going to be a serious problem by the time she becomes a teenager. And now, you know, my brother is in denial, but his fiance sees it or whatever. And she's always talking to me like, yo, this is crazy. You can't tell your brother nothing, whatever. And she's like, you know, it's my stepdaughter. It's not really my daughter. So, you know, I'm trying to like stay in my place and all this. She's like, but some of this stuff is just crazy what I see her doing. And then your brother is just like, whatever about it. I'm like, this is why she's sending her little chest to boys now, like to little boys, because everybody, she's just the perfect little girl all the time. In the meantime, I done caught her in so many lies and schemes and everything else or whatever. And every time I catch her, I'm like, yo, look what your daughter is doing, bruh. And he's just like, oh no, she couldn't have did that. That wasn't her. There's no way.
Yeah. You know, that takes me to a time, Rita, where my daughter, when she was at a very young age, sent the picture to a boy. And you know, luckily for me that I have nothing but intelligent black women around me that when things like this pop off, I'm going to handle it my way. Then I'm going to go to some mothers that can actually talk to her from a woman perspective. And, you know, thank God I had, you know, people that I believe I called out to Rita and everything. And, you know, I don't know exactly what Rita did, but Rita's the type of parent I know when she get down to like breaking down stuff to kids. I know she's great at it. So I sent my daughter over there for my daughter to get a female perspective on why she shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a shame and scary when parents see something like that and they think, oh, it's nothing. No, that's something that you get all hands on deck and make sure this shit don't go any further, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. But these are things that you have to start paying attention to, because you may find yourself in a position where the kids are so far gone that you have to decide, do I just kind of cut bait and run, or do I stick with them? Because like I said, with the guy whose son is the serial rapist, he wants nothing to do with his son. Because again, his son isn't just the rapist. Remember, his son also tied up a classmate to a tree. Him and his brother beat the dude senseless for an hour. Damn. His son tried to get his friend, who was me, stabbed. And this is when he was in high school. So I don't know how much the father knew, because again, I knew his wife was bedridden. And I think she died right after this guy graduated high school. Like when I met her, she was like hooked up to machines inside the house. And I've only met her maybe 2 or 3 times, and I've only seen her outside of her bed once. So I've been to the house probably about 30 or 40 times, but I'd only seen her outside of her bedroom once, standing up. That's so great. Yeah, so you figure the mother wasn't really around. You know, she's pretty much bedridden. The father's working like crazy. And for the father to say, I don't want him to know where I'm at, I don't want him to have my number, I don't need him around. And for him to pretty much say to people, if you see him, tell him that you have not seen me. That sounds like somebody that's just fed up and just said, I've done everything I can for this person. And they're dangerous. Like legitimately, they are it's kind of like when you hear about those kids that were like killing animals as when they were kids. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, something's wrong then.
I always thought that. And that's what kids that I grew up with, like, you killing animals and skinning cats and chopping cats. They're like, why do you think that's cool, bro? That's not.
You know if you ever get a chance, has anyone seen the show Evil? It comes on CBS with Mike Coulter from Luke Cage. Auntie, you've seen it. Okay, you might remember this episode. Well, for those that have never seen the show, the concept is Mike Coulter works for the church. And they send him out whenever they think somebody could be possessed by a demon or by an evil spirit. He has a team. It's him, a woman who's a psychologist and lawyer, who's an atheist, and then they have another guy who's a Muslim / atheist, and he deals with like science and technology. So he tries to see if there's some type of scientific thing going on that can cause this phenomenon. And she's a psychologist, so she just tries to see if it's something going wrong in this person's head. And there was this one episode where this family called about their son, because their son was just constantly getting into trouble. He was whenever he was around, stuff would get set on fire. Animals like in the neighborhood would wind up dead. Their pets all wound up dying mysteriously. They caught him. They had a newborn baby. They caught him walking outside to the pool with the baby. He threw the newborn baby in the pool.
Yeah, he got to get the fuck out. He got to get the fuck out of here.
They also caught him trying to smother the baby, and he was like maybe 10 years old.
Oh yeah. You got see, Jimmy. This is not no regular kid. What you got here is a demon child. So when you have a demon child in this motherfucker, you can't treat her like a regular kid. You got to go up to the highest window
and throw him out.
Hell yeah, you got to damn right, because you got to save your life and everybody else's. Fuck that. You know?
Yeah. But it's, if you follow the show, they actually the
throw that
parents killed him.
motherfucker off? Oh yeah.
They never showed how they killed him. But the team came back and asked, "Hey, how's your son doing?" We don't think he's crazy, but we think something else may be going on. And they said, "Oh, the son, he ran away." So, well, did you report it to the police? Oh, we're going to. And then they looked at him and they said, "We have to protect our baby," because this kid was so crazy. They used to lock their door when they went to sleep because they were afraid of what he would do.
I wish I would have a child and raise, have a child living in my house that I created, and I'm scared I gotta lock the door because I'm scared what they're gonna do to me.
Yes. I was about to say, I ain't locking no doors in my house. Everybody about to be afraid of me. I don't know no kids. I'm sitting over here frightened that you might do something to me. No, let me tell you something right now. I ain't scared of no daggone child, okay? No child. Because everybody think they crazy until they meet crazy for real.
Right.
Well, if you ever get a chance, you should watch the show. Because, I mean, this kid was doing stuff like he would turn the gas on at night and like pour the core out of the oven.
And you know what? I would be locking him in a room at night. I ain't locking doors. You crazy as I don't know what. You are that out of control. I'm locking you in somewhere.
Yeah,
but they killed him. So
that's what you're going to have to do. He was out of control. Yeah, you gotta kill him.
Yeah. I guess jail ain't even going to help him. You just got to.
You gotta help. You gotta help out Earth. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm eating this popcorn, but yeah, you gotta help. You gotta help out Earth.
Popcorn.
Well, what's so crazy is usually whenever you hear about those serial killers, you often hear, we saw when they were kids, they were torturing animals, or, there was something that was just a little off. And, and the parents would say, "Oh, but I still love him. Oh, I still reach out for him. I hope he changes. I hope she changes." At what point does that hope run out? At one point, do you just say, "You know what? This person is not going to change"? And there may be times that you did everything that you could. You did everything you could to try to lead them the right way, do the right thing for them. And, some people just got crazy in their blood. Like, it's hate to say it, but some people just have it, and it's nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah, you just gotta, kill them.
It's a bit extra.
But honestly, you might have to just give that child up and get yourself a refund. You know what I'm saying?
Well, think of it like this.
Because the one you got was defected.
Well, just think of it like this. Yeah.
Well, too, what I'm saying, not trying to be funny, but these children start with us. And this is why you got to be careful of who you reproducing with, or whatever the case may be, because this stuff don't just happen overnight, like you said, Jimmy. Like this isn't like, oh, all of a sudden he turned 14 and became a psychopath. It's like, no, he was a psychopath the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But who did you mate with? What is that person's mental history and in the mental history of the people in their family and all this other stuff, or whatever the case may be? And then, you know what I'm saying, if you're the one that catered to this person being who they are, like my brother, you know what I'm saying, talking about you got the perfect daughter or whatever, you created that monster now. Don't you sit over there talking about, oh, well, now I throw my hands up, ain't nothing I can do about this or whatever. I gotta turn my back on my child now because I created this monster and now I just want to throw him out. Like, nah, that ain't right neither. Like, you got to suffer the consequences of your actions as well as a parent. Like, don't try to escape your, you know what I'm saying, your responsibility now because you created a demon child.
Yeah, but it's so.
Don't try to escape your demon.
Well, it's crazy. It's this guy I used to know. He used to live around my way when I lived in Irvington, and he's real tall dude. This guy was like 6'11". Everybody in the neighborhood knew him, and he was in the streets. You know, I personally never had an issue with him, but I knew he was in the streets. Everybody in the neighborhood knew he was in the streets, and he wound up getting killed. Ironically, at a bar that I was at, we were in the same bar. I wound up leaving, and like 15 minutes later, he was outside. Somebody gave him a piece of chicken. Somebody just walked up behind him and shot him in the head. And allegedly, when the cops called his mother to tell him, hey, you know, your son was killed, she was just like, oh, well. At least I don't have this headache and stress of dealing with him anymore.
Yep.
So either she's a terrible mother or she was just worn out. She had just gotten tired.
It's a shame, no matter which answer it is. That's a shame.
No matter what, it's bad. It's, you know, it's unfortunate, you know. But it's a legit question because there has to be at least a limit where you have to say, you know what, I'm done. I can't help you anymore. For some people may never have that limit, but you got to, I guess, sometimes question: at what point am I hurting them versus helping them? Because sometimes by telling people that no matter what you do, I'll always be here, it makes them think, well, I can always do whatever I want because someone will always be here for me no matter what. They'll be mad at me. If you ever see the movie Inglourious Bastards, when Brad Pitt carves a swastika in the guy's head that's supposed to be released, and the guy says, I'll have you jailed for this. He said, nah, I'll get chewed out. I've been chewed out before. I won't go to jail. Same thing with some of these kids. They know, okay, the most that'll happen, no matter what I do, is I might get yelled at. That's it. They'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one thing you got to think about is every psychopath and mass murderer and mass criminal was at one point an innocent little kid. Something happened in between them.
Well, hold up, Jimmy. Mm-hmm. It's been, and I know you have to know because you're a smart man. Mm-hmm. Been some documented cases where kids start showing some weird shit at the age of 7 and 8, and it's like no way this kid could react like this on a natural level, you know?
Yeah.
So we do have some people that when they come out the hole, they are really mentally deformed already, as far as, you know, they're a ticking time bomb. You ever see those motherfucking kids every once in a while? You just see a kid just like this.
Yeah.
No fucking emotion, you know, and you see one of those kids, every the kids playing would be that one motherfucking kid.
Yeah, but sometimes
everybody, oh, he's just quiet. No, that motherfucker one day is about to stop being quiet and get loud and fuck everybody up.
That's when these parents have to come into the best of their ability. But again, to Alu's point, you got to also be careful with who you're having kids with. You know, there's a girl I went to high school with. She's real cool, you know, pretty girl, but I know she had 5 brothers. All 5 of her brothers were gang members. All 5 of her brothers got murdered. All of them. So she's nothing like them, but you got to think about that DNA is going to be in your child if you have a child with him.
Listen, I know one parent, and I never see her visually parent, but by the proof, she's a fucked up parent. She have at least six kids, right? And 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl, right? Everybody done fucked up. Even the girl became a damn prostitute. Okay. Now, when all your kids fuck up, you just need to stop having fucking kids. Once you get to the third kid, the third kid is loose cannon. That means you can't parent. You done it once, you done it twice, 3 times. You shut the fuck out.
Or you got some bad DNA.
Yeah, man.
Nah, that ain't no bad DNA. That's some bad parenting. She ain't know what she was doing. And this is what I'm saying too. Like this is the madness and the craziness within the Black community as well.
Hey, you know them, Rita. They was up in the Claire. So I'm pretty sure if you think hard enough, you could think of who I'm talking about.
Oh, sugar snaps. Well, I don't know. I know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's bad parenting. And then you want to sit over there like, oh, I throw my hands up with this child. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? My cousin says she had a mother come in. She used to be a teacher. And she had a mother come in and say she was, the boy, he was 11 years old, selling drugs, acting out in school. My cousin tried to, you know what I'm saying, be a person, a positive person of support. But then you got the mother coming in telling principal, oh, y'all do what y'all want with him. I'm done raising kids. Like, huh?
Wow.
Like, oh, so now you created this little terror. And now you don't want to take responsibility for the terror that you created. You got him running rampant and loose amongst, like Amina said, you out here walking around with, you know what I'm saying, with the rest of us now. And now we have to suffer the consequences because you want to throw your hands up and say you done raising kids and the boy is 11 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, 11 years old, she's already done.
Yeah. Some people don't need to be parents. I think I spoke before about this girl I went to school with.
Shit, look at the hood.
Well, yeah. Well, I think I told you the girl who I went to school with, her mother had her and her sister young. So both of the sisters had children freshman year of high school. They were a year apart. The one was 14, another one was 15, or vice versa. In their early 30s, so around 32, 33, they became grandparents. So what do you think is going to happen when the next generation comes up?
Listen, it's going to be full of crazy ass niggas.
Think about it. Their great grandmother is in her 40s.
Yeah, that's the way it is now.
And none of them got a man. And none of them got a man in the house.
I don't know.
No. He ain't saying you don't know. Stop that bullshit.
I haven't spoken to him. I haven't spoken to him, so I don't know.
None of them got a goddamn man in the house, Jimmy. If it was, we would be talking about all this bullshit for the half of it.
But playing devil's advocate, why is I hear a lot of saying it's the parents' fault. Not all the time it's the parents' fault. We have to think in this age of social media, allowing, even in school, what they teach in school, what kids are seeing in school, the environment has a lot to do with it. There are parents that are really good parents. Kids that came out of 2-parent households.
Yes.
And the parents have a good job. They come out of 2-parent households. And these kids just do what they want to do because it's all about free will. Because we sometimes, as parents, think that we're doing the right thing by giving the kids everything. Oh, there's no consequences. And that's where the thing comes in. Where are the consequences when these children are doing something? A kid could be bad the whole year and then their birthday comes, you're giving them something. Christmas comes, you're giving them something. Or you're rewarding them in some sort of way. Instead of saying, look, you did this, there's a consequence for this. And when you as a parent say, this is what it is, you got to make it stick. You can't just, let it be fly by night. But
again, going back to free will, there is so much that these kids have so much freedom that, you know, and even in school, the things that they learn, the things that they're teaching, just the environment that they're in right now, things that you don't want, you yourself as a parent might not want your child to know. But because when they go to school now, they're teaching it or they're seeing it. And now you as a parent kind of has to grapple with what's going on in the world and what goes on in your house. So not all the time is a parent's fault. And I'm not a parent, so that I'm going to put that out there. But one thing that I could say, when it comes to children doing things, and when they get to a certain age and a certain point, yes, you might have to cut them off. Because if you don't, you keep on, like Jimmy said, you just keep on allowing them to do what they do. It might hurt you to cut them off because, yes, you're their parent. But if you keep being their safety net, when they're never going to fall, they're never going to feel the hurt, they're never going to feel the pain, because, okay, whatever, the world don't have me, but my parent got me. And after a while, you become an adult. I understand with the little kids. Up until 18, 19, 20, you'll say, okay, something got to give. You can't be just doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And I keep saying, oh, you shouldn't have did that, but I love you. I got you. You can love your child, but you got to loving them enough to release them and say, look, now you have to stand on your own and face what the world has to give you, since you want to be part of that world. So, not all the time it's the parents' fault. I can't blame parenting. I can't blame, things. And even with kids growing up in an environment, after a while, you become an adult. That kid shit got to go behind you. Now you have, again, free will to make the choice of what you're going to be when you get older, how you're going to live your life. If you want to stay and see, there are a lot of kids who see the worst of the streets, been in foster care, and have become productive members of society. But they made that choice. They made that choice. And if we keep allowing as parents to, as they get older, and just they do stuff and we're bailing them out. I had a family member that did that, bail their kid out. But I understood because he was young, so you couldn't do anything. But once they get to a certain age, you got to let them go. Either you make the decision to do the right thing, or you got to go. And you can't come and chill with me. You can't come to family events, because this is the consequence now. You put us through all of this. Now this is the consequence that you got. And it's not being a bad parent. It's being to give consequences. That's the problem. Nobody has consequences anymore. There is no boundaries of consequence. When I grew up, I had consequences. My parents already told us, if you go to jail for anything less than the self-defense, don't call us. Don't pick up. And I have West Indian parents. Don't call us. Don't pick up the phone. Don't tell us nothing about, oh, I was robbing a store. I was hustling and selling drugs. Don't come back and tell us that. And even if you were to think about doing that, or you did that, make sure your parents never found out about it, because you know what the consequences were. So if your parents tell you the consequences, and then after that keep coddling you, that's why these kids don't become adults, because mothers coddled their babies. Mothers and a lot of mothers coddle their babies The fathers, they ain't looking this way or that way. They don't, because they doing their own thing. So it's, it's just a catch-22 in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Oof.
Yeah.
This is a good topic right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a good one. I told y'all.
I agree with what Larita just said. Larita just said something in the chat that it comes down to parenting, and ultimately, you know what I'm saying? I agree with Miss JJ Fab over there. It is and I said it earlier, it is the environment. It's a lot of different things or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately it does boil down to the parenting, because ultimately you're in control of what happens with your child. When I realized that, I was like, you know what? You're right. I didn't like what they were teaching my son in school. It wasn't conducive to what he needed to know. I took him out and I homeschool now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't even entrust y'all to be teaching my child or whatever. And any child that has really come through me, is, I can only speak for myself. I have one child, I was her very first tutor. She is I spoke to her mother. Her mother is always so grateful. She said, I'll never forget, you were the one that taught my daughter her ABCs and manners. And she said, I'll never forget that. She has taken that with her throughout her whole life. And now she does like international relations now. She's like, you know what I'm saying, an American ambassador somewhere or something. I don't know. Another one, you know what I'm saying, my aunt, her two boys who were around my age, one, God rest his soul, passed away at the age of 26 because of out here doing nonsense. The oldest one has been in and out of drugs, doing BS. Now my little cousin, I'm the one that, she was the last one. She came when my aunt was much older, but I'm the one that was asked to be her second guardian. She is now at Howard with a 4.0 straight A's. So you know what I'm saying? It is the influence. Like I said, it takes a village. Yeah, takes a village. So I agree. It's the influence. James just mentioned he would send his daughter. James's daughter would come and spend the weekend with me. Like, she would just show up to my house, and then I would call James and be like, "Hey, James, your daughter is here, right?" "Oh no, I didn't know she was going over there." Whatever. All right, well, just so you know, I got her. And James would just be like, "All right, cool, whatever." And his daughter would spend the whole weekend with me. You know what I'm saying? James's daughter is doing things for herself now. So I don't know, every child that has come through me, because that's right, parenting skills and in the environment that I've set up for children. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes tough love has to happen. And help is cutting the child off. Like, look, this is the only way I can help you. This is the only way you're gonna get it.
I owned a daycare, and my children that I took care of was from 0 newborn to 3 or 4 years old. Every child, and I've had over 50 kids in my care, and every child that I've come in contact with, they all have good jobs. They all have children. They're all doing very well. Because my mother always told me, like you said, you got to set the foundation. My niece right now, my 6-year-old niece, she's homeschooled because, like you said, we don't entrust what's going on in the schools today, that they're going to do right by her. There are things that we don't want her to be exposed to. at this young age, and these kids are exposed to so much, you know, in everyday life, and even what you look at on television, they're exposed to it. And you know, I had some parents when they first came, they were like, "Oh, just stick in this videotape and they'll be quiet." I said, "No, we don't do that here." By the time they leave here, they knew their ABCs, their colors, their coloring, you know, skills and all of that. Everything that they needed to know. Some of them knew how to, you know, read a little bit because I sat down with them and we took care of them and we taught them, you know, and that's how that right now with these schools, you know, I don't trust the young mind can be molded and shaped without you even knowing it. And it's not, you're doing it one way, but when they go out into those schools and into that world, it's a whole nother mold. And we know when we grew up, you know, we weren't innocent. We saw what was going on out there. We tried it, but
I was innocent. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, okay. But you know, but we know we always thought. My first thought was like, what are my parents going to think? So when I did everything, I did it very strategically. I didn't just go out willy-nilly where people be wilding out. I'll be like, man, if we get caught, this gonna happen. I used to think steps ahead of whatever scenario could happen. And if it wasn't a scenario that I knew I could get away scot-free, I wasn't gonna do it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do it because I didn't. To this day, I have older people telling me, "Oh, your parents would be so proud of you." To this day, that makes me feel good. And you know what I'm saying? They're not here. Both of my parents are deceased, but they could still look down or look for wherever they are. And my family members, my older family members, and they go, you know, "Oh, your parents, you know, my siblings and myself, we all are productive members of society. We're not perfect, but we could hold our head. When we say that last name Lee, everybody say, "Oh, the Lee children, yeah, you know." So, and that's what you want to do. You want to make your generation proud. So when the next generation comes, they have something to live up to. I'm not saying all of the generations after is perfect, but you know, we had to get them in line. That's what and if they wasn't in line, you gotta go. You gotta do it. You got, you know, when they get to a certain age, it's no more coddling. It's no more "I got your back." Can't do that because then you just gonna always know, "Oh, I got locked up. They're gonna bail me out." Nah, son. Nope.
You already know.
Definitely. What a way to take us out. Really want to thank y'all all for coming out. We're gonna end it on a funny note. The funny note is being reported that New Jersey cops are going to be allowed to smoke marijuana or consume marijuana as long as they're not on duty.
Yes,
I heard that. Maybe they'll become more chill.
You probably.
Some of them don't need to chill any more than what they've been effing doing.
Exactly. Well, maybe it'll give them a different...
They were already taking the weed from the evidence locker.
Now they won't have to hide it.
Let's not even talk about all that right now. Let's right.
Oh yeah.
Right. Let's not even right. That brings a nasty taste in my mouth. But anyway.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that brings a nasty taste in my mouth.
But but no, we want to thank y'all all for coming out. Definitely this was a fun show. It was a good topic. You know, we had a lot of fun last week, had a lot of fun this week. We'll figure something out for next week. That should be a lot of fun. But once again, thank y'all all for coming out. Legend Icon, y'all gotta plug anything?
Yes, sir. Well, Icon's on his way back. I am Legend Damian Simmons, as it says down there at the bottom of my little box. You can tune in to me on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. You can Google me as well. And we do encourage you to come back here Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, live on Zoom. We are also Xtreme Truth Podcast. I'll help you, Jimmy, with a little bit of this. We're also
thank you.
On Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Please check our videos. We do have some new ones up. So please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you don't mind. Feel free to
share it
on it as well. We do check. So, yep. And thank you for coming out tonight. We definitely enjoyed the opinions. Like I said, I'm one without child, so I was glad to hear not only people who have had children, other people who have not had children. We have somebody that's currently in the process of creating and delivering a child. So we thank you also. So definitely appreciate everything. We hope to see y'all back here next week.
Thank you. Icon.
Well, you could check out James Icon Grant on YouTube, TikTok, Icon 127 on Twitter, Instagram, iConnection_Productions LLC on Instagram, and
MySpace, AOL Instant Messenger, Black Planet, Carrier Pigeon,
the Hentai,
Asian Avenue,
the New Jersey Raven, you know what I'm saying? The Baltimore Raven.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I can take y'all back.
You went back. And if you ever want to reach me and you forget how to reach me, just go ask Google how you reach James Icon Grant. They will definitely tell you.
Woo!
Here we go. All right. And we know, Auntie, you got your show on Twitch.
Yes, I'm on Twitch. Actually, I'm on tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's Twitch TV for twitch.tv/JosoFab. You could come out and listen to some good music, good conversation. That's where I'm at.
There we go. Before we head out, because I'm at 7% battery. Anything else? Anybody else got anything else they got to plug? Going once, going twice.
Any plugs? What plugs? Any plugs? What you do? I
don't think anybody want to use their butt plugs, but yeah.
We've heard enough stories about that from the weekend.
Real
quick, Xtreme Truth Podcast crew, whatever y'all want to call yourselves.
Like we change names every week.
No, baby shower invites are going out soon, so I hope you guys can make it to celebrate.
Of course, we'll be there. We'll be there.
I'll most likely be working there.
Oh yeah, let me know.
Thank you guys.
Oh, anytime. All right, so once again, thank y'all all. We will see y'all all next week. All right, y'all.
Love y'all. Good night, Law. Appreciate it.